Welcome back. This is part 2 of the watercolor of my granddaughter, the watercolor zombie clown. So what I'm going to continue doing is working on her face. So right now I'm going to do the blood that's down here and her lips, and then I will get to her eyes and the different colored dots that are on her face. So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is the pink that is on her gums, because I have it just kind of a skin color. I want it more of a pink color. And this is kind of a dark red, but it has a nice pink when it's a wash. So I'm just putting a little bit down. I'm not going to put much on there, because I don't want it red. Although some areas I do kind of want it red. Okay. And actually, in her mouth, I'm doing some red in her mouth, on her tongue, and on her bottom membrane under her tongue, whatever that is. Okay, now I'm going to do some of the blood that's under her lip, which is, of course, it's fake blood. Going to do that. It's kind of brown, but it's also kind of red. So I'm starting out with red, and then I'll add some dark browns and blacks and grays. But right now, I'm doing the reddish colors. It's like she just ate somebody. She just was feeding. And this, it doesn't really matter. I see the lines, but it doesn't, you know, it's just paint. I mean, it's just blood, so it could go anywhere. This is hopefully going to be like a pinkish color, because I want to add some brown to it to make it look like blood. Okay, that's all that. That's all I need for that. So I'm going to get my paintbrush. What did I do with it? Here it is. Get some paint water on it. Get my paper towel and start getting it wet. Now this is really pink, but that's okay, because what I'm trying to do is match the lighter color I see on there. I'll eventually get it really dark. And again, I can't stress this enough. You go light and then you slowly build up. You don't start out dark, because then if you want it lighter, too late. Watercolor is pretty unforgiving. So just getting that wet and spreading the water around, making it fluid, making it a bright color, huh? Okay. That didn't have to be very precise, but in here I do want it a little more precise, because this is under her gums. And I do want to leave it light pink. I don't want it a dark color, because it's actually not blood. So, okay, and it looks like this is pink. Like she has her 2 lower teeth are missing. I don't know how old she was. It wasn't that long ago, but it looks like that's a major gap. I actually need some more of the color, so I'm going to get over here where it's dark, because I didn't color here, and I want this to be pink. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Looks like it's a little pink here on her lips. I'm going to do it right there. Okay, that's all of that color. Now, she has some really bright pink cheeks. Well, let's see what color I want for that and get that out. I can be doing that. Since it's not touching any of the blood, I can have it somewhere else. It almost looks like a neon. Let's do number 22 watercolor. So I'm going to get my watercolors over here. And I want number 22. Let's see if this is 22. me see. Oh, that's 12. That's not where you're 22. Oh, it's probably this color. Yes, this is 22. So this is the Derwent Watercolor Magenta 22. And I'm going to use it. It may not be the exact same color, but it's close enough. It's for these cheeks right here. These big ovals she painted on. Oh, I can tell that's not the right color, but it's okay. I can add another color to it. This looks more like purple, but that's all right. I can do a pink over it if I don't really like it. It's weird because my sample didn't make it look like it was purple. I'm kind of committed. I have to do both colors, both cheeks the same. So she will have purple lips. I mean, purple cheeks. That's okay. There's actually some shadow to them too, but right now I'm doing the main color. And then I'll make them more in depth, because they're not just two pink dots on her face. Because there's the depth of her cheeks are round, and so there's some shadow on them. Okay, so I can go ahead and paint those in. I might add the pink on it that I just did the blood. Yeah, it's kind of pink, but it's kind of purple. It's kind of very purple, actually. That's okay. I'm okay with it being a different color. If it's for a client, I'd hate to have it be a different color. But since it's just for me and my daughter and granddaughter, I don't think they'd care if she has purple. Maybe she actually wanted purple and she didn't have it, so she did pink. But this clown has purple cheeks. Okay. Now I'm gonna shade those in and do a little bit of a different color, but I'm gonna let the paint dry. Although I can do her red nose right now. So let's get the red. Let's see what red color we want. Let me look at my guide here. Get a nice red. I think the number, let's do 400 on the ink. What's it called? Ink tints. 400 on ink tints. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second while I grab that. Okay, usually I have the colors out ready, but I just got the facial features and I forgot to get all the extra colors for all these different colors on her face. I might can use the same color on her nose. There's darker and lighter, but I can use more paint where it's darker, less paint where it's lighter, more intense. Okay. I'm going to paint it in solid, but add a little more around the edges. But right now, I'm just going to color in the whole thing red. Okay, I'm just looking to see. It's a little bit lighter here, so I'll do a little bit less pencil lead there, with light shining on her right side. And then I'm going to put more lead where I want it really dark red. And hopefully when I get it wet, I can kind of keep it that way, where this is darker and that's lighter. I say hopefully. I'm not that confident. I haven't been using watercolor for very long, just actually a couple of weeks. So this is all a learning curve for all of us here, our learning experience. Not learning curve, what am I saying? Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I might add some of this. No, I don't think I want to add any red down there. I think I'll keep it at that. Okay. Now I need the paintbrush, the water, and I'm going to start with the water where it is the lighter color. That way I'm not picking up too much of that darker. And now I'm going to start where the darker areas. Let's kind of outline it here. Okay. Yeah, this is a really brilliant red, isn't it? Very pretty. I like this red. Almost looks like it's a fake nose, but it's on her real nose. That's why we have to have some shadows and highlights, because her nose is shaped a nice roundness to it. Excuse me. Okay. I think I want to bring some of the color up. Okay. I think that's good. I'm going to leave that. Now, by now, the blood down below is probably dry. So I'm going to add some dark brown, which I already have. Actually, this color. This is the, what is this called? Shiraz. It's Derwent Ink Tints number 600. Excuse me. This is kind of a red, but kind of a dark red, dark brown. Oh, I forgot to paint in there. I'll do that. Actually, I'm going to put some of this in there, because it's pretty dark. Later I can add black if I want. I try not to do black. I'd rather use blues or browns to get that dark, rich color. In fact, it's rare that I use black. Okay, so now we're gonna, although this is kind of a reddish color, I think, once we get the paint on it. It is really hard to tell without seeing the paint. Okay, I gotta pause it. All right, sorry about that. We got a robocall. I don't know why I said that. Okay, they're annoying. You're invading my home. I don't need to talk to anyone I don't know. Okay, so there's some dark areas here. And I'll do some dark brown too in a minute once I get this going. So this is kind of like, it looked like dried blood going on. And the smile is kind of like her mouth was cut. All right, let's see. I guess we need a little bit darker here. All right, okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get water on that. I'm doing the really skinny parts here. Okay. Some of this pink is picking up, but that's actually good. I want it to blend in with this brownish red. Because it's not solid colors. Right, get some over here. Right. Now I'm gonna get this wet in here because I've been neglecting this area. It's a little bit redder than the photo, but I kind of like it that way. I think it was in shadow and you really couldn't see the redness of her tongue. I kind of like the way I'm doing it better than the photo. That's what's great about paintings. You can change whatever you want. Okay. I'm kind of liking that. All right, now I want a little bit of shadow on the cheeks. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use that same brown I just did. Because that was, what was that? Oh, no, that's a different one. Madder brown. I don't think I want that. Actually, maybe I want the gray. Let's do this gray on the cheeks and on the nose. This is warm gray, number 19, We used it earlier, but I'm going to use it again. I'm going to put some gray at the top of this cheek and the bottom side. Same thing with this. I'm going to go on the left side because that's where the light is on the right, so I'm going to do shading on the left. Okay, now on the nose, there's some kind of grayness. It's really dark on the edge of the red nose, and then it's shaded underneath where her nostrils are. So there's some gray going on here and some gray, a little bit darker here. I had done it earlier, but I want to add some to it. And gray at the bottom here. There's a little bit of gray here on her nose. Makes it look nice and round. And on the top, it's rarely something is just one color. Usually there's shading and highlights. Okay, now, is that dry? I think that's pretty dry down there. I'm going to add some dark gray down here. Where am I? No, I'm not. I think I want black on that. So actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Not black, I want dark brown. The madder brown, 1920 Derwent ink tints. That's what I'm going to use on, oh, I need to sharpen it. Sorry if that's really loud. Okay, I'm going to darken this area with this dark brown. Because I think it's pink and red enough, but now it's like really dried blood in some areas. Where it dripped as she was eating her prey. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to put it in there. I guess I do. Again, I'm trying to decide if I want black. I might want black in there, so it'll just really pop. I don't really like using black, but let's do dark brown, and then we can go with black later. Okay. Okay, I think I'm through with that. Now I just need the water again. Okay. Let's do the cheek. Again, if I can, I like to work from left to right. Okay. Okay. Do the same one on the left side, on the right side. Okay. Now let's do her nose. Get that gray blended. Actually, probably wouldn't look bad just not putting water on it because it's so pale. But we will. We'll put water on it. Got some lines going on here. I'm going to smooth that out with water. I don't want a line there. Okay, now let's get that wet. Okay. Now we'll wet that dark brown I just put in here. Make it smooth. Smooth looking. Okay, now we'll do the inside of her mouth. Where I had the dark brown. It's picking up some of the red, but that's okay. Just blends it all in, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to smooth it out, make it kind of solid. Okay. right, now I think it's time to do her eyes. That's the fun part. She has beautiful eyes. I'm going to pause it while I get the colors I want. I'm going to get the color for her eyes, and then I'm going to get the blue lines for her eyebrows and the lime green and the light pink. I'll get all those colors ready to go. So then the next thing we'll do is her, let me decide, her hair. Yes, we'll do her hair after I finish that. So I'm going to pause it while I get those colors. Okay, so I've got the colors I need. I'm going to start on her eyes. Let me bring this down here so I can see it good. Her eyes are really, oops, again, gotta be careful. Actually, I'm gonna move this cord out of the way. It's gonna bounce. There. All right. Okay. Now we'll get under this wire and outline it kind of dark. Oh yeah, there's some areas I want it to stay white. So I'm going to get some of this, I think it's called liquid frisket, but it's liquid masking. I'm going to put that on her eyes. So I don't want to have to worry about keeping some areas white. As soon as I finish outlining this. Okay. All right, so what this is, oh, I don't like the shape of that. Let's make that more round. Okay, all right, let me get this out. This is art masking fluid. So if you see this, art masking fluid, it's really nice because you shake it up, and then wherever you put it, it leaves kind of like rubber cement. It leaves an area that you can paint over it, and then later remove it, and your paper's white. Ooh, I gotta open it. I know it has a child safety thing. Yeah. There we go. Whoa, I am pouring it all over the place. Oh, wow, okay. At least I have paper towels here. That was a mess. At least when it dries, it just comes right off. Except I don't really want it on my clothes. I don't think it got on my clothes. Maybe it did. Oh, well. Okay, so now I need a little tiny paintbrush. Put you over here. Here's one. Do it while I'm still here. Okay. Yeah. So I've got a little paintbrush, and what I'm using this for is the whites of her eyes. I want them to stay really white. So I'm just going to put some little drops of this down. And we have to let that dry, so I'll start coloring some other areas. Let that dry before I do the eyes. I almost forgot about that. And when I was looking at it, I thought, uh-oh, I don't want to paint on that. It has a slight yellow color just so you can see where it was and where it is. It's like little dots about right there. Some reflection there. Okay, now while I've got it out, is there anything else I need white? No, everything else I can leave. I think that's all I need on that. Sometimes you do it for hairs, but her hairs, I don't think I'm going to have that problem. Now this stuff will ruin your paintbrush if you don't wash it off right away. So I'm gonna dip it in. Boy, I'm getting that everywhere. And you dip it in the water, even though water didn't do it. I just kind of get it a little wet, and then really dry it with my paper towel. Try to get it off my table here. Oh, I made a mess. Okay. It's not the first mess or the last mess. All right, while that dries, I'm going to do the light pink above her eye there. So this is Rose Pink number 18 Derwent Watercolor. And I'm going to paint, I'm going to color in right here. And I'm going to use a lot of lead because this is a real light color. And I want that pink to really show up. This is kind of like a Harlequin clown. from the 70s. They used to have a lot of Harlequin clown paintings. Very creepy. Okay, now that's that. Now I'm going to do the green on the other side. It's just pretty. This green is also the green I'm going to use on her hair later, but I'm going to go ahead and finish her face before I start on anything like that. Now this, I'm doing a solid color, but I'm probably going to add some gray to it, some lighter, darker green to give it some depth. All right, now I'm going to color in her eyebrows. Oh, I better not. I'm not going to do the eyebrows yet because this pink touches the eyebrows, and I don't want anything bleeding. I don't want the pink bleeding into the blue. So we'll just wait on that. I'm not in that big a hurry. Oh, but what I can do are her lips, because they're not touching anything else. I can go ahead and color those orange lips in. And there's going to be some shadows on that too, but I'll do that with darker orange and gray. So that's what I'm doing now. Orange kind of bleeds out and stops because there's some fleshy color there, but then it kind of picks up over here. Kind of blends in with the flesh there. Same thing with this, it's kind of the pinky, fleshy color. And then it's intense orange over here. It does look really intense, so I'm going to have to make sure that looks very three-dimensional. Okay. And I think we've got that colored in. All right. What am I missing? Nothing. We still have to let that thing dry on her eyes. So we'll go ahead and paint the pink on the corner there. Pause this. Okay, so now I'm going to do the pink stripe. I'm going to start at the top where it's pointed and work my way down with the water. Okay. I got a little bit of the bleed from the gray here, but that's okay, I don't care. Looks like maybe I want a little more intense pink. I'm not sure what I want to do about that unless I just do another layer on it. Yeah, I might just do another layer in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to wash that out and dry it and do the green. Do the green stripe. Get some fresh water. Paint that. Yeah, I think the pink, I just need more color on it. All right, now I'm going to do the orange lips. That's all I can do at this point. Right now they're all a solid color, but in a little bit I'll do some darker in them. And it looks like the orange lips have a little bit of a red tinge too. I might do a little bit of red from the nose down on the lips. It's good to have real good quality brushes. I don't think the one I'm using right now is, because some of the hairs, I'm losing some of the hairs on my drawing. That's not good. So I think this is cheaper quality. Okay, so now I got that colored in. I'm not done with the lips, but I've got that part of it done. What can I do now? I wonder if the pink is dry enough. I think the pink's dry enough. I'm going to put some more pink in there. And then I'm going to do some gray near the base to show it's kind of bending, going with the curve of her face. Okay. And the green, I'm going to do some darker green. And this is emerald green number 46. So that's what I'm just going to do, a little bit of that at the base and at the edge, because I want, and then here, this side. Okay. So now I'm going to use the watercolor on the pink wash that off, dry it, and then use a little bit on that dark green. Okay. Now, what am I going to do? Oh yeah, let's see the lips. Let's do some dark in that. Let's do some dark, I'm trying to think what color do I want that. Let's do some of that reddish brown. Let's do that. It's kind of red but brown. Let me sharpen it. Okay, this is the Shiraz 600 Derwent Intense. I'm going to do some of the creases and the shadow to make it look three-dimensional here. Her lips are round, so they need a little bit of shadow. And there's some lines where her makeup didn't go into all of her lips. So I'm going to darken some of that, do some lines. Same thing with this. I'm going to put a little bit of brown there, or reddish brown, whatever this color is. Okay. Give it some depth in this too. I'm going to do a little bit of shading on this side, a little bit of shading this side. And it's definitely darker on the very bottom of these lips. So I'm going to bring that across. Okay. I also think I want to add some red to it, but let's just try that and see how that looks. Okay, so now I'm going to put water on those colors, see how that looked. It's kind of a red, which actually that's okay. I'm okay with that. Doesn't look exactly the same color as hers, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. Oops. Kind of didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. I can kind of wash that off. I'm losing some of the lines there. I think I'm going to need some gray on it, but right now I'm okay with that. In fact, I think I'm going to maybe add some more orange to it. No, maybe I'll just leave it at that. But I will add gray in a minute. Okay, I think that's dry. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gray to the bottom of the gray. I'm going to do the bottom of the pink right here. A little bit of gray in the center. And a little bit of gray on this side of it. Give it some depth. And I want gray here. A little bit of gray there. A little bit of gray at the bottom. A little bit of gray on that side. Okay. And we'll go ahead and wet that so we can blend that in. Okay, I think we're done with that. Now we'll put some gray on the lips. Some more gray. Gray here in the gum. A little bit on the lips, under here. A bit of gray here. She kind of has gray lips right there. Gray right here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of the gray in her teeth. Let's get that done. Let me sharpen this. Okay, so I'm just going to have to eyeball this because I can't really see it. Okay, so it's a line there. This is all kind of very light gray. This is inside her mouth, and it's much darker inside there. Okay, then there's a line here. This tooth. is shaded. This one has just a little bit of gray on this side, and it has gray there. And then this, a little bit of gray in between. Gray here. This is the inside of that tooth. And then this tooth's here. And this is all kind of gray in here because it's inside her mouth. It's very gray inside there. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of gray here too. A little bit of gray. Okay. Now there's definitely a lot of gray on her top teeth. That tooth is almost totally gray. It's hard to decide about teeth because you don't want them looking like they're dirty, but they have to show that they're back behind the lip. So there definitely has to be gray on top. I might even leave the bottom white even though they look gray. All right. Okay. And we're gonna get that wet. We just blend in that gray. Okay, and I will sharpen up the edge of her tooth there. I don't really like the way that looks, but that's okay. Okay. This whole tooth is kind of gray. So it's back behind. There's some blackness here, but I'll do that later with a pencil, I think. Yeah, this is all kind of gray. And I picked up some of the pink I noticed underneath, but it's okay, because the reflection would make it look kind of like the pink is there. Okay, we're doing this tooth. You have to really look at your reference here to know what you're doing. Okay. Now, oops, I think I added gray. Yeah, I did. I added gray to these lips. Make them more look in depth and round. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to, what am I going to do? I would like to be able to do her eyes. Oh, I can do her eyebrows. I'll do her eyebrows now. See, I believe it was this one. Ultramarine 29 Watercolor Derwent. And we are going to, yeah, I think that's the color I want. Okay. These are really sharp lines. Because there's like, not real hairs. These aren't real hairs, obviously. Okay. This was a fun night for them. This was the year, I usually go every year with them, but this year I went to New England. This particular year I went to New England with my husband and my best friend Cindy. So I didn't go to the zombie crawl. And I didn't go this year because I was just lazy. And I'll probably go next year because it is a fun event. And we usually win because there's a whole lot of us dressing in the same theme. So it's not like just one person dressed up, it's all of us. And she has several friends that go. So we all have a theme, my niece and nephew, her husband. It's kind of a all-day event or all-evening event. Okay. So now we'll wet those. I know this is very time-consuming, but it looks nice when it's done. Watercolor can be so very brilliant in colors. It's really nice. I like colored pencils because they can be so precise, but watercolors have such a glowing, bright look to them. It's hard to beat that. Okay, now I'm going to do this eyebrow. I'll add some depth to it in a minute once this dries. Okay. All right, we'll let that dry. And let me check on that stuff in her eyes to see if it's dry enough. Because she's really looking freaky without any eyes. I'm just going to lightly touch it. I believe it is dry. Okay. Now we'll do the inside of her eyes. I think it was the blue-gray. Yeah, I think. I don't know, I better check. Let's see, this is blue-gray 68 watercolor. I'm going to look at this to see if 68 was the inside of her eyes. Yes, this is what I want. So I'm going to get it really sharp. Okay. And I started it earlier, but I'm going to do it really dark around the edges, dark at the top, and go around. And then I'm going to lightly color on the inside. And actually, this is going to be black, the center pupil, but I'm going to color it this dark blue right now. I'll do black again on it in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to do really pale. It'll show up darker once I get it wet. So don't have to worry about that. Okay. Same thing with this eye. We're going to darken it around the edges of the iris. Get a lot of pigment on there because I want it to be really pretty dark blue. Her eyes are just gorgeous. Okay, and then I'm going to color in the pupil here, blue, but later I'll do it black. And then I'm going to do really light blue here. Okay, now we'll get those wet. Put that there. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lighter color first. Get it on there first so I don't get it too dark. So once I start doing the dark area, everything will be dark. Okay, now I'm going to do the dark. I might add a little blue into it, but I don't have to do too much on that. Okay, I think it's a little, well, that's okay. Now, I want some darker blue streaks in it, kind of, so I'm going to take this brush and just kind of brush up. Kind of some like little lines, bringing that in, like that. Okay. I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Okay, there's some things I don't like about this. Let me lighten this. I actually don't want that line so dark right there. So I'm going to get it wet. Kind of wipe it off. It's kind of getting unbalanced there. Okay, now I'm going to get this wet. A little bit darker up here. Then I'm going to darken, get the water on the outer edge so it gets nice and dark. And bring some of those lines up. So you have these little flecks coming in. Okay. Now, I'll let that dry. Oh wait, I didn't get that wet. I need to get that center wet. I think I did that one. Okay. Okay, now, while that dries, I'm going to color in a very light gray. I think that's too dark, so let me see what light gray. I'm going to do the whites of her eyes. I think I want number, what do I want? I want kind of a, I think I want number 69 in the graph tint. So that would be over here. Okay, let me pause that while I get my color. All right, now I got the color I want for the eyes. So they look kind of almost all gray. So I'm just going to do it really light. So it's kind of a light wash. Because they're in a shadow, basically. And I'm leaving it a little bit lighter, closer to her iris. And I'm going to do a little bit darker right there. A bit darker there. Okay. Now, same thing with this. Doing it darker here and making it come out. This is darker. Really a lot darker here. Her hair is casting a shadow. Her hair and her face are casting shadows here. And it is darker here. This will really make her eyes look realistic. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get that wet. Let's do the wash here. Okay. And I want it really wet because I just want it just kind of really smooth. No lines at all. Okay. Needs to be a little darker there, but that's okay. I'll just go with the flow here. Okay. All right. All right, now let's go with black. I got a black one out. You see where I put it? This one is Midnight Black. Okay. Now we're going to go Midnight Black on her pupils. And I'm also going to do Midnight Black on her eyelashes here. Make them really dark. And her upper eyelid. Let's darken that in. Doesn't seem that dark, but it's not wet either. When it's wet, it'll get a lot darker. Okay. Same thing over here. I'm going to darken this in and darken that in. Darken this. There's a lot of eyelashes here. Go down. Okay, and this pupil needs to be black. Top part of her iris that's blue will be black because it's got a heavy shadow. All right, now we're going to use the paintbrush and get all that wet so it really gets intense black. Okay, kind of feather it out here. Feather it out here. Get that wet. That wet. Okay. I think that's pretty good. This eye is a little bit lighter than that eye. So I'm gonna put a little more blue in there. I think it was this blue. Ultramarine. Maybe. Yeah. I think it was this color. I don't know. This actually might have been the color of her eyebrows. If that's the case, I'm going to do it on both eyes, because I want it to match. Okay. I want her to balance out here. Okay. Yeah, that was the color that was on her eyebrow. Oh well, that's okay. It just makes it extra blue, which is nice. She has really beautiful blue eyes. All right, now let's do some dark in the eyebrows there. We're going to go the deep indigo. I really want a sharp point because we're going to do just the edges. Instead of doing black, we're going to do a really dark blue to make it look 3D. And there's dark blue on the bottom of her eyebrow here. A little darker here. Here where that line is. Definitely darker there. It's almost black here. This is darker on the top and the bottom, like this whole eyebrow. And this too is really dark. Okay. And we'll get that wet. I keep losing my paintbrush because it looks the same as these pencils. There it is. Okay. Get that wet. Blend all that in. Okay. Okay, I think I might be done with her face. And I'll go with, I do see some things I need to do, but I can use my colored pencils and that. We'll let that dry. Okay, now we're going to start on her hair. So I am going to pause it. In fact, if it's been long enough, I may stop it here and start a new video. Let's see how long it's been. Ooh, it's been a long time. Okay, so this will be the end of this video. The next video, part 3 on the watercolor clown, we will do her hair. And when I say hair, like her brown hair. I might start on the wig next, but we'll just see how much time that takes me. So come back and see the third one. Bye.